This is the voice of the Report of the Week, signing on. Well, hello, ladies and gentlemen, and everyone listening. This is VORW Radio International, the voice of the Report of the Week. Happy 2019. You may be listening to this broadcast on Thursday, the 3rd of January, 2019, Friday, the 4th of January, Saturday, the 5th of January, or Sunday, the 6th of January, 2019. VORW Radio International is a weekly light entertainment program which features a mixture of my commentary, discussion, talk, as well as a mixture of listener-requested music. This broadcast goes out to you a variety of ways online via TuneIn, SoundCloud, as well as the according apps, and many international shortwave radio frequencies. So first and foremost, switching it up a little bit, a very happy New Year to each and every one of you listening, no matter whether you've been listening for the long run, marking 4 years, if you've been with us since 2015, whether you are a 1-minute listener, if you're tuning in for the first time, welcome to the show, and it is an absolute pleasure to have you here. Hope you could stick around for the duration of the program. So before we get into today's program, and I want you to stay tuned, because this is something that it was an idea that came to me probably a few hours ago, and this is going to be implemented over the course of 2 shows. So it's going to be this week's program, and then next week. And this isn't going to work if no one participates. So I'm going to need a lot of people for this, and I think it's going to be a lot of fun. So hang in there for just a second. We'll get to it. First, what I just want to do for the new year, because some people might just be unsure. I know a lot of people, more than I expected, wrote to me saying that they got, shortwave radio for Christmas, and there might be a lot of new radio listeners out there. I just want to get the best times and frequencies out there for really whoever's tuned into this broadcast. First and foremost, if you're an online listener, you can find this show at SoundCloud. That's soundcloud.com/VORW_radio_INT. Or you could very likely find it just by going to soundcloud.com and then in the search bar, just searching up VORW, my station. It's going to be the first one that shows up. That's how you can find the archived programs on SoundCloud. Listen to hundreds of shows on demand there without issue. If you want to listen in on TuneIn, that's a very popular way to do it. You can tune in on your phone or on your computer. There are 3 broadcast times when this show is streamed on TuneIn. You could listen at the time of 6 p.m. Eastern every Thursday on WRMI. Now you could find that just by going to tunein.com. Again, in the search bar, just type up the call letters WRMI. You'll click on their stream, and at 6 p.m. Eastern, from 6 to 7 Eastern, every Thursday, you will hear my broadcast. Every Friday, from 5 p.m. to 6 p.m. Eastern, you will hear my broadcast again on WRMI on TuneIn. Same exact feed, same instructions apply. Likewise, you can also hear this broadcast on TuneIn every Saturday from the time of 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. Eastern on radio station WWCR. And the way to find that is by going into the search bar on TuneIn Radio, on the website or the app, and just type in WWCR 3, the number 3, because they have 4 transmitters and 4 streams. I am on the 3rd one, WWCR 3. Okay, with that out, let's just get to a radio schedule very quickly. All times are going to be in Eastern. 3 p.m. Eastern every Thursday, 7780 kilohertz, Eastern North America. 4 p.m. Eastern every Thursday, 7780 kilohertz, Eastern North America and Europe as well. 6 p.m. Eastern every Thursday, 99.55 kilohertz, South America, the Caribbean. 7 p.m. Eastern every Thursday, 7730 kilohertz, Central and Western North America. 8 p.m. Eastern every Thursday, 5850, 5950, 7780, and 9395 kilohertz. All of them, all four going parallel, broadcast to North America and Europe. And at 11 p.m. Eastern every Thursday, 7730 kilohertz to Western North America. A lot of good reports from California coming in for that one. And another final note, a few more transmissions to report every Friday, 5 p.m. Eastern, 99.55 kilohertz to South America. Saturday, 6 p.m. Eastern, 93.95 kilohertz to North America. 8 p.m. Eastern every Saturday. This is a really good frequency, 4840 kilohertz, North America, exceptional reception. And every Sunday, 5 p.m. Eastern, 7570 kilohertz, again blanketing most of North America. We have our schedule out. If you have any further questions, etc., you can just send me an email. I'll be happy to help you out when I get the time. VORWINFO@gmail.com. Alright, I hope you're able to survive that. I hope you're able to bear with me through that. You know, it's one of those necessary things, where it's a big schedule, but it has to be, it's got to be announced every so often. Because I'll get a few emails and people might have inaccurate or old info, and just to keep you up to date, keep you posted on how, when, where, and so on, you could hear the show. So now that we got that over, let's get to the fun part of this broadcast that I was kind of, I was trying to get you on the edge of your seat. I doubt that really worked, but nonetheless. So this idea came to me a few hours ago as I was listening to AM radio late at night, and one station that I'll sometimes tune to is WFLA 540 AM, and they will broadcast coast to coast AM. Great show. I'll listen to them sometimes. They cover some very interesting topics. And they were playing an old show from the year 2001, back when Art Bell was the host. And it was one of those programs that got the gears turning in my head. And it made me realize what they were doing is they were saying, what predictions do you have for, the year 2002? And it was so fascinating to hear people calling in and, giving their insight. And that got me thinking, of course times have changed. Things have changed, events have changed, and every audience is different. This is going to be a 2-part program, and the only way this is going to work is if you participate. If you don't, nothing's going to come of this, and it's not going to be any fun. So whether you write in every single week, or you've never written in before, this is how you do it. And trust me, next week's show is going to be a fun one. I'm going to have a lot of fun with this, and I think we all will. I have a question for each and every one of you listening, and it would be great to get a response. What predictions do you have for the year 2019? And don't hold back. They can be anything. What do you predict? What do you think is going to happen in this year? What do you think is going to happen? It can be anything. All right? Could be political. Could be world events. Could be social. Could be in the realm of music, entertainment, shortwave radio. Could be in regards to suits. Could just involve you. If you predict that you are going to be the next president of the United States in 2019 by some miracle, and that's what you predict, that's fine by me. What are your predictions? They can be big, they can be small. Whether you predict that World War III is going to happen, or if you think that pineapples on pizza are finally going to be accepted in society, let me know. I want to know, and the way you can let me know is by sending me an email. Shoot me an email. The address is VORWINFO@gmail.com. That's VORWINFO@gmail.com. One thing also that you could do that, it all depends if you feel comfortable or not, but if you'd like to, and this will do a great deal of help for the show because it'll make it even more interesting next week, if you would like to record your prediction for 2019 and have your voice on the air, literally broadcast to every single continent. We even have listeners in Antarctica, believe it or not. We got a reception report last week. If you want your voice to go out to the entire world, you can record your prediction as an MP3 file, and you could record it on a third-party site like VORW, and you can send it in, and you can do that as well. So if you would prefer to just have it in writing, that's fine. But if you would like to record it and have your voice played in the next show with your prediction for 2019, that would be excellent as well. The address again, VORWINFO@gmail.com. In the next show, we're going to go through them, we're going to read them, and we're going to have some fun with them. And my role really isn't going to be to necessarily agree or disagree with any of them, but rather to serve as an impartial moderator. So, don't hold back. You can keep your emails really short and sweet. It's completely fine by me. What do you predict for this year, 2019? Again, send me an email, VORWINFO@gmail.com. VORWINFO@gmail.com. The more feedback, the merrier. I want to hear from every one of you, and make the effort again to tune in next week too, because we're going to go through them. Hopefully we're going to get some fun, some interesting ones, some serious and some silly responses, and it's going to lead to just a very diverse and probably a show that's going to make for some good listening. And, then a year from now, we're going to be able to look back at it and we're going to say, hey, maybe you were right. Maybe everyone has finally accepted the pineapple on pizza debacle. Or, it could be anything. What are your predictions? Let's hear them. VORWINFO@gmail.com. Other than that, we're going to have some listener-requested music. I'm also going to be giving a little bit of a lecture on my thoughts to another popular New Year's tradition, that being New Year's resolutions. Stay tuned, you're listening to VORW Radio International. New Year's resolutions, It's 2019, and I don't think New Year's, well, maybe I'm just out of the loop, could be. New Year's resolutions aren't, I don't know, it seems to me like they aren't really talked about as much as they were years ago, but I think they're still a thing. The concept of New Year's resolutions, I can agree with. I can't say that I have any sort of inherent hatred toward the concept, but do I like or agree with New Year's resolutions as they are usually performed? Absolutely not. Because really, people make a big deal, I think, out of them just because of the name. New Year's resolution. That sounds big. Happens at the start of the year, a fresh start, a resolution. We are going to resolve this, that, or the other thing. Let's just call it a goal. But that takes all the glamour away from it. There is nothing wrong with setting a goal for yourself, your business, your social, academic life, or anything. There's nothing wrong with setting a goal. As a matter of fact, I recommend you set up benchmarks and goals. Though this, I have to tell you, if you set up a goal, you have to always prepare yourself that there will be, oftentimes, one of three outcomes. More or less one of two, but we're going to throw in the third one. You will either succeed, and you will reach that goal, meet it, or surpass it. You will fail, you will not reach that goal. Or it may very well end up being a stalemate. You might have some wins here, some losses there, they kind of cancel themselves out. You may be in no better place than where you started from, though at least you are not in any worse a position. You have to keep that in mind. Just because you set yourself up for a goal doesn't mean by default, thereby setting up this goal, that you will succeed. That's not the way that it goes. Look, I could set up a goal for myself and say, okay, I'm going to go down to Circle K, that's the nearest convenience store, and I'm going to buy enough scratch-off lottery tickets until I win $1 million so I can take care of the radio bills and get a shortwave broadcast going to Africa, right? A goal can be anything. I think there needs to be some practicality with it. And with that practicality comes commitment and determination. And that's where my problem with New Year's resolutions comes about. I don't have a computer in front of me. I think, as you can hear, I'm kind of lecturing outside. They said, I believe it was a very high percentage. Maybe it was in the 60 to 80% range, if I'm not mistaken. 60 to 80% of New Year's resolutions fail. And to some, you might kind of say, yeah, I know why. And some people might kind of be disappointed at that. I know why they failed. I'll tell you why. Because New Year's resolutions are one of those customs that's kind of ingrained into us. Not all of us, but a lot of the times it's just one of those things that comes along with the new year. And as a result, because a lot of us like to do what everyone else is doing, if someone sets a New Year's resolution, well, I gotta set mine too. And it's something that you feel like you have to set up, you have to do, and as a result, it may be something that you do want to improve upon, but you're not fully there at this present time. So you're going to give a half-hearted commitment to it, and as a result, you're not fully there. As I said, something that you might want to work on, but that drive, it isn't there yet. So that's why so many of them fail. People will one very well-known New Year's resolution, of course, is saying, I want to get myself in better shape. And I think it's important to be healthy. And a lot of people are going to say, I'm going to hit the gym. I'm going to get that gym membership, and I'm going to go. I'm going to get myself in better shape. I agree with that. I think being as healthy as, you wish to be, and, trying to be active, I think that's a good thing. But take a moment and think. Am I really ready for this? Because otherwise what could happen is I could go in there prematurely with this notion that, alright, I'm going to get myself in shape. And I may have that drive the first few times. But because it was really just a temporary thing, 'cause that's what everyone else is doing, it's going to wither away, it's going to peter out, the goal isn't going to get met. I might forget about it, and then a few months later when it's brought up, I'm going to start beating myself up because I didn't accomplish that New Year's resolution. If you see everyone else around you starting to pick a New Year's resolution, seemingly at random, and you're picking your brain, alright, what's my New Year's resolution going to be? My advice to you, make your New Year's resolution not to have one. And when the time is right, and only you, and you alone, will know this because you will feel it. And when you feel it, it's a unique feeling, but you will know that it's ready to do, then go ahead and set that goal, whatever it is. Because when the time is right, even if that ends up being in June of 2019 to get your health in order, if the commitment exists then, the outcome will be far more positive than just setting something up, just because everyone else is doing it, yeah, I'll give it a try, and not having that work out several months beforehand. Sometimes you just have to sit down and wait. Wait for that prime opportunity, that right time, or just when the situation aligns itself in that way that best suits you, then you can set up that goal and get whatever it is that you wish to get in order taken care of and start cracking away at it. That's why my New Year's resolution for 2019 is nothing. I have no New Year's resolution. My goal for January of 2019 is to secure the funding for this shortwave broadcast and keep the darn thing going. See, that's my goal for the January of 2019. And like I said, mentally I'm prepared for those three outcomes. Either A, we'll get lucky, we'll get some donations and some advertisers to keep this going and perhaps expand it a little. B, funding isn't going to come in. I'm going to have to pull what I have to pull. On good terms, though. On good terms. Or C, just enough comes in that we can keep it going for another month, but no room for expansion. So I'm ready for it. Pretty much all three have happened already over the course of this program's history. So it is what it is. But yeah, New Year's resolutions, it's a custom that I'm not a fan of, because in many people's minds, I think, it takes what really should be a good thing, setting those goals and self-improvement, but it forces it upon you, and as a result, it just leads to an increased chance of failure, and leaves a bad taste in people's mouth for future endeavors, when perhaps those notions of improving oneself would actually be successful. Instead, because it failed the first time, you're not willing to try it the second time. So, my advice to you, if you're very serious and you're actually feeling it, and think it through, but if you're really feeling it, then set a New Year's resolution. But don't do it if you feel like you're being forced into it, and that's whatever's going around on social media. Don't set one. Wait until the time is right, and then set a goal for whatever it is you're doing in your life or what you want to do with it.